Hello everyone, welcome to a very, very special episode of Jay's Beer Review. It's going to be very special on two fronts. Number one, the announcement I'm about to make, and number two, the beer I'm going to review today, which you can see right above you anyway. I just want to go out and say thank you to all my subscribers, my friends, my viewers, my commenters, people who've supported my website and my beer reviewing, like Hoosick Street Beverage and The Ruck. I have reached the level on YouTube, and I have just made YouTube partners. So I just want to thank everybody who's been part of my channel in one way or another. Even if you hate my videos but still watch them, I thank you as well. With that said, as a token of my appreciation, I want to give my viewers a chance to express in their own way, comment on my video. So if anybody out there is interested, if you'd like to make a short 15-20 second video and send me those videos through my email address, and my email is jjoh121277@msn.com. So if you could send your little 15-second video if you're interested, send it to that email address, and I'm going to make a collaborative video. I'm going to give everybody a week from the point when this video... So once again, I just want to thank everybody. With that said, I'm going to do a very, very special beer review to go with me making partner. And it is none other than the Westvleteren 12 Trappist Ale. This beer here, if you're not familiar with craft beer, is highly considered one of the greatest beers in the world, according to like Rate Beer and Beer Advocate. And it's a very difficult beer to get. It's only available right in Belgium at the monastery, and so in order to get this, you usually have to finagle some sort of trade, and even then it's difficult because it's a hard beer to get. And you know, to go with the prestige of how exclusive it is and how high ranked it is, I had this beer for a little while, and I want to save it for this special occasion. I'm going to go ahead and give it its fair review finally. I'm not a huge fan of Belgian ales, so I don't think that I'm going to probably give it the distinction of the best beer I ever had, just because it's not my favorite style. But I still want to just go ahead and give this beer a try and really see what the hype is all about, and see if I can at least appreciate the craftsmanship of such a fine, rare beer. The alcohol percentage on this beer is 10.2% alcohol by volume, and basically that's about it. This one here, I don't understand the damp stating on it, but I think it has a 3/12/11. I think what that means is as long as you drink it by March 12th of 2011, that's when it's good. I think this beer itself is already aged 2 years based from where I got it from. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and give it a review. The glass I'm going to use is my She-Mate Authentic Trappist glass because it is a Trappist beer and I want to give it a try. And as a backup, just in case something happens where this beer explodes when I open it, I got a big mug here because I don't want to waste any bit of this beer in the event that happens. So even if it explodes, I'm going to be dumping it in here to save whatever I can. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and break into this world-class beer. Whew, here we go. We're good. No explosion. Alright, so let's go ahead and give it a pour. So far, so good. Okay. One of the things I was told about a Trappist beer is, you know, it gets some yeast particles on the bottom, and with a Hefeweizen you're supposed to spin the bottle to get that last bit out. But I've been told on numerous occasions not to do that with a Trappist beer, so I did not do that, and we'll see if that makes any difference. Alright, let's talk about what we have here. First off, it's brown. I mean, the beer is 100% brown. It's very, like, I don't want to say it's hazy, but you can't see through it. It looks just like there's tons of sediment. It looks so full of sediment that you can't see through the beer. There was no head on it at all. I expected that, but I can tell the carbonation is there, which I'm thankful for because it tells me the beer is not flat, which would scare me a bit. Let's give it a smell. Woo! It smells like sour wine. Sour grapes and sour wine. Usually when a beer smells like this, I usually don't like the taste, but this tends to be the case with these Trappist beers. They always tend to have that sour-like smell to it, but then the taste is usually so much different. It doesn't smell high in alcohol, though. I don't smell like an over booziness. I just smell like sour grapes and sour wine. You know, the aroma of this beer leaves something to be desired. I certainly don't think the make of the body and the smell of the beer would make it world class, but then again, we're going to see what the taste is like, and that could be all the difference. So, here we go. Cheers. You know what? I mean, I don't know if I'd go and say it's the greatest beer I've ever had. It's so hard for me to kind of do that at this point anyway, but I have to say, no doubt, that first sip was really enjoyable. And the big problem that I don't tend to like about Belgian ales is the over booziness that they present, or even like the sour like taste that they tend to have, more like a wine. This doesn't have that. This, in a weird way, reminds me of a very fruity, sweet tasting of fig, and also it reminds me highly of like Tootsie Roll. So it tastes like Tootsie Roll and fig, and it's really enjoyable. I one sip and I was like, whoa, I get it. It's really good. I don't get so much complexity, but maybe I will as I drink more. So let's try another sip. Yeah, that's really nice, I have to be honest. It's also pretty easy to drink. It goes down relatively easy. It is 10%, which is a pretty big beer. And it's almost like clean tasting. It's, you ever get like a good bottle of water and how quenching that is? It has that really nice quenching like effect going on. I actually probably would drink this really quickly because of how drinker friendly it is, including with the nice sweet taste of fig and Tootsie Roll. That's pretty impressive, I have to honestly say. And I'm not just saying that because of the exclusivity of it. I'm saying because based on what I think of Trappist Belgian beers and what I'm tasting here, I'm enjoying this. It does have some similar characteristics of the Rigor Mortis by Dudecil, but a lot more friendlier to drink. One of the friendliest drinking Belgian beers I've ever had ever. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy this, sit back and drink some more of this, and I'll get back to you in a few moments. Alright, well I'm back, and as you can see, I have just a little bit of beer here left. Let me start by saying this beer absolutely lives up to the hype. I'm not a huge Belgian ale fan to begin with, and I have to honestly say, if Belgian ales tasted like this one does all the time, I would drink them more regularly, because this is such a fine example of a beer, and I get why it's ranked so high. For starters, the 10% alcohol, the 10.2% alcohol that this beer is carrying is totally unnoticed, completely. There's such a nice soft mouthfeel of the beer that makes it very palatable to drink, and yet, saying that, there's just enough carbonation to make the tongue dance a little bit to let you know that it is in fact a carbonated alcoholic beverage. The flavors are without a doubt some of the most greatest flavors I've ever tasted, with some raisin, grape, caramel, like a Tootsie Roll I would say. There's fig going on, so there's like 4 or 5 different complex flavors going on. The cleanness that the mouth leaves, or the cleanness of the feel of the beer that's on the mouth, reminds me of drinking such an enjoyable bottle of spring water. And overall, it definitely, without a doubt, is one of the best beers I've ever had. And I don't even like this style traditionally. It really does. I mean, it clearly is the best Trappist beer, or Trappist style beer, I've ever had. And it's not even close. Like the Chimay, the Rocheforts, the Dudecils, all those out there that I've had, the Duvols, it's not even close as far as the next Belgian beer I had, as far as the enjoyability I had of this beer. I would, if I could get this beer regularly, drink this regularly. And I definitely think every craft beer fan should try this at least some point in their life. And I have the St. Bernardus 12 that, there's a story behind this beer because this brewery used to make the Westvleteren 12. That's going to have to really be a great beer to live up to the hype of being known as the clone. I have the Trappist Rochefort 8. I've already done the 10. And they got a pretty big competitor to match up to for me to consider those beers even close to as good as this. I'm very happy that I got a chance to try this. It is going to go on my top 5 favorites of all time. Maybe it's not my absolute favorite, but I'm just thinking back of all the different beers, which is over 700 beers at this point, and thinking back of a beer that is so hyped up, that lived up to that hype, and really was great, and it did that. And everybody who watches my videos regularly knows, I don't suck up to a company or a beer because they say it's good. I give it its fair review and tell you what I really think of it. I can't find a thing wrong with it, and it blows away every other Trappist beer I've ever had by far. So I'm going to give it that distinction. It deserves what they say it is. It really is that good. With that said, I am going to go ahead and do my final chug and give you my final thoughts and grade. As far as final thoughts and grade, you can even smell grape in it as the sourness kind of wore off. It didn't have the greatest look or the greatest aroma to it, but the taste took it over. I mean, it was just amazing. It's easily, I'm going to call this a top-notch beer. I think it is going to fit right in with my top 5 favorites of all time. I think it's going to eke out my Weinstafner Hefeweiss. I think that's finally going to get bumped out, and this is going to go in there. Probably like 3, 4, or 5. I don't think it's quite as good as the Kentucky Breakfast Stout by Founders, but for its style and what I liked about it, it was great. And just hands down a great beer. And I'm actually going to keep this bottle as a memento. But again, that was the Westvleteren 12 Trappist Ale. Once again, I just want to thank all my viewers that helped me get to partner. I'm looking forward to the collaborative video that I'm making. Until next time, thanks for watching.